Crochet bonnet tutorial. I'm so excited to be sharing this today. It's been in the works for a long time. I've been loving to make bonnets every year for a while now, but finally got around to making a little crochet pattern version and gonna do the whole video tutorial for you here today. So this is a free pattern from the Q1 2024 issue of Material Girls, a fiber art magazine. You can download it for free on materialgirls.com. It has a bunch of other free patterns and just fun fiber art activities, so check it out. To make the bonnet, you're going to need 2 skeins of size 4 yarn. You're going to hold your yarn double throughout the pattern, 2 strands together, then a 6mm hook, as well as some scissors, a tapestry needle for weaving in your ends, and a measuring tape to measure the length of your bonnet ties. Start by grabbing your 2 pieces of yarn and making a basic slip knot. So you're going to cross one over the other and then pull up a loop through that loop that you've created, if that makes sense. You're going to tighten it and then put it onto your hook and tighten it to the right size. Start with a basic chain of 12 stitches. If you don't know how to chain, all that you do is wrap your yarn around your hook and then pull it through the loop that's already on your hook. Super simple, so do that 12 times, and at the end just do one extra one so that we can turn around and do it the other way for the next row. Now we're going to single crochet through the back loop only for 16 rows. So what that means is that usually when you do a single crochet, you put your hook underneath 2 loops of yarn, but for this, just put it underneath the back one. Wrap your yarn around, bring it up, wrap it around again, pull it through the loops. So a basic single crochet, it's just that you're only putting it through the 1 loop of yarn instead of 2. Here this shows that again, put it through the back loop, bring up some yarn, wrap some more yarn, and then pull it through your loops. So this is what the first row looks like. Then you're going to chain 1 and turn around to keep building up the rows until you've made 16 rows. Here's another look at how to do the back loop only technique because I think it shows it a little better under this. So that is me going under 2 loops of yarn. What you would normally do, don't do that. Go just through the back like this. So you're going through the back and then pulling up yarn just the way you would on a normal single crochet. What this is going to do is build up this nice line texture, which I think looks super nice for this. So cut your working yarn and fasten off once you've done the full 16 rows. And now we're going to turn the bonnet body just so that the lines match up nicely as we keep going. So turn the piece of the chain tail is in the bottom left corner and the tail you just fashioned off is in the top right. We're going to start from the bottom right corner and start crocheting all around 3 edges to start the body of the bonnet. So insert your hook into that bottom right corner and we're going to do basic single crochets up this right side. Do 16 single crochets, which amounts to 1 single crochet per row. So you're just going to kind of stick your needle into the edge, pull up some yarn over, and then pull through the loops to make a basic single crochet. When you get to the end, we're now going to go onto the top edge of the rectangle. Since this already has a nice line going on, we're going to continue with the single crochet back loop only technique here. So you're going to do 12 single crochets through the back loop only to make the top of the rectangle. And then you'll get to the left side, which you're going to do the same thing as the right side, 16 basic single crochets, 1 into each row. So you should have done 16 on the first side, 12 through the back loop only on the top, and then 16 again down the other side and have a nice little edge around 3 edges of the bonnet. That's 44 stitches total all around. We're going to use those to build down the body of the bonnet. So chain 1 and turn, and we're going to continue doing the single crochet through the back loop only technique for 22 rows. Same technique, just put your yarn through that 1 back loop and do a basic single crochet back and forth at the end of each row, chain 1 and turn back around. You'll start to see some body of the bonnet build up. This is what the very top of the bonnet will look like. You can see how it kind of curve and lay over the head, and then as you go, you'll see longer sides start to form. When you get it to the length that you want, I do 22 rows, fasten it off, and we're going to start with a new piece of yarn for the face border. Insert your hook into the bottom left corner of the bonnet and pull up a new piece of working yarn. We're going to do 23 single crochets up the left-hand side. So that amounts to 1 single crochet per row. So we're just doing this up until the point where we hit that seam where our original rectangle is, 23 basic single crochets, and you'll start to see this nice trim starting to build up. When you get to the top, you're going to turn so that you can work on the bottom of this rectangle. You're going to do 12 single crochets along the top. These are 1 in each chain at the end of that rectangle. Again, watch your trim start to build up, and then turn to do the same thing you did on the left side, on the right side, 23 single crochet along the right side of the face. That's 1 stitch in each row. When you get down to the bottom, you should have 58 stitches around the entire face border, and you're going to chain 1 and turn so you can do a few rows to build up the border. Back to our good old back loop only single crochet technique to make some nice lines on this border. You're going to do that for 3 rows. So at the end of each row, chain 1 and turn back, and continue single crocheting through the back loop only. Once you've gone back and forth for 3 rows, you can cut your working yarn and fasten off. You should now see the entire body of your bonnet is complete with the face border. We're going to add some ties to the ends so that you can fasten it around your face. To do ribbons, we're going to start a basic chain. So again, slip knot, add that onto your hook, and we're going to chain now over and over again for 18 to 20 inches. This can really be any length. I just find that 18 to 20 inches is a good amount to like have enough to make a bow and also have some nice strings hanging down. I think that looks quite nice. So you're going to chain over and over again. When you've chained for your desired length, you're going to insert your hook with the chain on it directly into one of the bottom corners of the bonnet, pull up a piece of yarn, and begin doing slip stitches across the entire bottom of the bonnet. So a slip stitch means that you put your hook through the stitch on the bottom and then pull up a piece of yarn and pull that yarn directly through the other stitch on your needle without yarning over like you would for a single crochet stitch. When you get to the other edge of your bonnet, just start chaining to make a matching tie to the first one. So again, I do about 18 to 20 inches, but you just want to make sure that every once in a while you're measuring against the other bonnet ribbon to see if they are about the same length. When you've gotten to the end, cut your working yarn and fasten it off, and we're going to weave in our ends. So grab your tapestry needle, you're going to put the end of your yarn into the hole of the tapestry needle, and then for the ties, just kind of start weaving this up into the tie to hide that end. After you've done that a few times and it's secure, you can cut off that edge and just leave it like that. It'll look nice and clean. Up top, you'll have a few on the body of your bonnet to do as well. So again, add them to your tapestry needle, go back and forth on the back side of the bonnet, just weaving them through a few stitches and then cut off. That's it, you're all done. I love this pattern. I think it just works up so quickly and is like nice and relaxing with doing the same stitches over and over again. Plus, since you use 2 different yarns together, you can do the same color, you can do different ones. So can't wait to see what you make. Make sure to head over to materialgrrrlz.com to get your free copy of this magazine to see what else is in there, as well as the written version of this pattern. You can also look through any of the past issues of the magazine for free and a ton of different free patterns. This is a little look at what we've got going on in the crochet department. Tons of fun stuff. But thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and it was helpful. Tag Material Girls in what you make. I hope you have a wonderful day. See you later.